It does seem to be that they're carrying out very separate engagements. If the legacy of their late mother, Princess Diana, can't bring them together, I don't think really at this stage, at this point in time, anything can.
Prince Harry is in the UK doing some charity events. Will he find time to see his father, the King, and his brother, William? Kate Mansey is the royal editor of The Times and joins us now. Good morning.
Good morning.
I mean, it is the question for royal watchers on everybody's sort of minds. Is there going to be some kind of family reunion? What's the expectation here?
Well, look, I don't think there's any chance that Harry and William are going to be together. I was there with William and the Princess of Wales yesterday when they were up in Sunningdale visiting a Women's Institute meeting. And they were just 7 miles away from where Harry was. He's flown in from California for a few days. He went straight to the tomb of his late grandmother, the Queen, where he laid a wreath and some flowers, we were told, to pay his respects privately. And this sort of started off a kind of a several-day visit, his longest yet in the UK since he left from 2022 for the Queen's funeral. Now, he's made it quite clear he wants a reconciliation with his family. And what's interesting here is that over the next few days, we're going to see Harry's itinerary playing out right along the kind of royal rule book, if you like. He's announcing engagements. He's got a scheme through his press office to distribute all the pictures and the images from those trips. Today, he's in Nottingham at a community recording studio. He's going to be announcing a big donation, we're told, to children in need. And then tomorrow, he's back in London at Imperial College London for the Centre of Blast Injuries Studies. So this is a centre that he opened in 2013. Again, very much a kind of, it's been described as a pseudo-royal tour, if you like. Now, the King is expected back in London. He's got no public engagements this week scheduled, so he has time, in theory, to see Harry. Whether we'll see that play out remains to be seen. But both sides are now keeping very quiet on the prospect of a meeting.
Yeah, and we've heard from Harry's side, or sources close to him, that he is keen to bring the children over to the UK more and to spend more time here. Just finally, Kate, he did seem to make a bit of a pointed remark about brothers when he was at this event yesterday evening. He said to, I think, a small child, "Oh, do you get along with your brother? Or they can be difficult, can't they?" Do you think he would have expected that to be picked up? Is that something that we should kind of take as a pointer from him, or are we over-analysing?
Look, I think Harry is very well aware that anything he says is going to be taken and blown up. He's complained about it in the past. I think he's very well aware of what he says and how it matters. He was talking last night at the Well Child Awards in London. This is a ceremony he's been to over 15 times now, and he's supported for a long time, in fairness. And he said to a little boy, yeah, brothers can be challenging, when they're at school in a kind of rivalry. And the little boy sort of replied, well, actually, I get on quite well with my brother, to be honest. Unlike Harry and William. I mean, yesterday I was at this event with William. He was there to pay his tributes to the late Queen. And we were told just before he arrived that he would be joined by the Princess of Wales. It does seem to be that they're carrying out very separate engagements. If the legacy of their late mother, Princess Diana, can't bring them together, I don't think really at this stage, at this point in time, anything can.
On his first day back in the UK, Prince Harry has been meeting children with serious health problems at the Well Child Charity Awards in London. He arrived this morning and went to Windsor to lay a wreath at the chapel where the late Queen Elizabeth II is buried on the 3rd anniversary of her death. Well, let's find out more now from royal correspondent Sarah Hewson. Good evening to you, Sarah.
Evening, Carol.
Well, this looked almost like a proper royal visit, didn't it? Prince Harry meeting some of those children at these awards tonight.
Yes, and this is where you see Prince Harry at his most relaxed. The Well Child Awards is a date in his diary that he really, really makes a big effort to keep. He's been patron of the charity for 17 years now. It was the Well Child Awards that he was back in the UK for 3 years ago when the late Queen died, and that meant he and Meghan were here in the UK for that, and he made that dash to Balmoral, arriving shortly after her death. But today, seeing Prince Harry marking the day 3 years since the death of his grandmother, starting off, as you said there, Carol, with a visit to Windsor, a private visit to the Queen's final resting place, where he laid some flowers at her grave. And then later on today, visiting the Well Child Awards, attending those and joking around with the children there, showing huge rapport with the children, making jokes about his own ginger balding hair, taking part in a play sword fight, and even making remarks about sibling rivalry and how challenging it could be at times.
Well, interesting that he said that because, of course, I mean, he's hardly been to his first visit to the UK for quite some time. There is that huge rift with his brother and with his father, the king. Any word on whether he's actually going to be meeting up with other members of his family?
Well, it's really interesting, Carol, because while he was at Windsor this morning, he was just a stone's throw from his brother William's home, Adelaide Cottage. William and Catherine were out today in Sunningdale visiting a WI coffee morning to mark the Queen's death, the anniversary of it. So Harry was closer than he has been for a very long time, geographically, but emotionally still miles apart. I think any kind of talk of a meeting with his brother is definitely wide of the mark. We're not going to be seeing that happening. As for his father, well, we've seen some tentative steps, haven't we? A meeting between aides for Harry and his father that took place just a few short weeks ago. Talk of those being peace summit, perhaps wide of the mark, perhaps a little optimistic, but certainly there has been suggestion that there may be a meeting. It hasn't been confirmed, Carol. We don't know anything about that. We know Harry's got a pretty packed schedule. He's off to Nottingham tomorrow. He's going to be in London to visit the Centre for Blast Injuries at Imperial College on Wednesday. He's due to be here for 4 days, and the King is in Scotland at Balmoral, where he spent his accession day. So no obvious signs of a meeting, but I think given the trust issues, given the concerns there have been about leaks of any conversations, if any meeting were to take place, it would have to remain very private, the details of it indeed.
Just finally and very briefly, if you could, Sarah, there has been all this talk about whether he would actually like to bring his family over to the UK, despite all those battles about security. Clearly he's here on his own at this time. Do you think that is going to happen? Are we going to see him bring his wife and children back?
Well, he gave an interview after he lost his case about security, didn't he, saying that it wasn't safe for him to bring them back, but friends of the prince saying that he really would like them to come back. The King's only met his granddaughter Lily on one occasion, barely had any chance to spend any time with his grandson Archie as well. Harry would like them to know his country, to know his family, would like to bring them back more. We'll have to see whether that does unfold and really how this visit goes in terms of repairing those familial relations.
Royal correspondent Sarah Hewson, great to talk to you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Carol.